Rich is the CEO and founder of Flikli. They are experts in 2D animation and just making killer video content that drives business objectives forward. Rich, thank you so much for joining. Your spicy title is certainly engaging. I'm going to let you jump right into it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Gary. Hi, everybody today. Hot Takes fans. I love the fact that this is the second one, and hopefully there are going to be more. Today, I want to talk a little bit about what you shouldn't let your friends do. And that is, as the title suggests, friends don't let friends make shitty video. I don't like to curse very often, but I think it's important to curse in this instance, because if you make a shitty video, then you end up wasting a lot of time and a lot of money. So I want to introduce myself a little bit more. As Gary said, I'm the founder and CEO of Flikli Animated Videos. A fun fact is that a while back, I worked with Steven Spielberg, and I felt the heat of 3 helicopters blowing up on an incredible set. I don't know if there are any big Spielberg fans out there, but what an experience. Reach out if you ever want to talk about that. So why are we here today? Over year, we read all the same trends, about the same trends, the content reports, about what's trending. There are what progress is being made. The tried and true channels giving preference to video and new video forward platforms being built. People respond really well to video, but the main problem is that, there is sadly a lot of shitty video out there. So let's keep that in mind for a minute. While I talk about this small point, which is, the video marketing industry alone in the US is worth projected north of $130 billion. So what that means is that people are paying attention to the power of video. So it's important to get on board if you're not already there and begin to harness the power that video allows you. So, what can we do about this? Right? Well, the first thing, and I think that, this is really what the presentation is all about, is like making the right decisions about video, right? So we do not let our friends make shitty video. The first step is you must define shitty video. And that means when there is there's just no impact on your audience. They aren't taking action. They're clicking away. They're forgetting you. You're ignored. People are not paying attention to you if you've got a video that's not working. Step number 2, to avoid that, you need to make a plan. Making that plan is super important. Number 1, who are you talking to? Number 2, what is the video supposed to do? What is the purpose of that video? And number 3, you need to know where your audience spends their time. If you don't know that, then you're not going to be able to connect with them. Video content is going to resonate with them, and then you're not going to have the video fulfill its desired purpose. So it's important that you answer all of these 3 questions before you can make a sound plan. Otherwise, you are inevitably going to make shitty video. So step 3, this is really important. Not many people think about it. They think, we have this job that has to be done and everybody's doing video. So let's just create a video and it's going to be that easy. Well, if you want to create a great video, part of that is avoiding a shitty process. It's true that video is not all created equal. And I'm going to highlight this through a story about my friend, Donnie. I'd like you to meet him. I'm going to read a bit from the slides here because I think you'll follow me. He's a good marketer, but he's a little out of his element, right? Donnie has a video problem, so he turns to me for help. Donnie is frustrated because he's got very little time. His video vendor wasn't proactive in keeping in touch with him and letting him know when things are coming down the pike. The video vendor kept on missing feedback. Has anybody ever, done that where they've said, okay, this looks great, but would you mind doing this or something else? And then that video feedback just gets ignored time and time again. That's super frustrating. So then he's like, okay, these guys aren't doing the job, so I might as well just do it myself. And then, by the time he spent a little bit of money to have this video produced, he ends up spending like most of his time getting the job done because he needs to present that to his boss. He needs to present that to his team. And then like that video needs to work for them. But he's just like, well, I don't know what to do. And so now his job is called into question because he hasn't done the thing that he promised he would do. So, his new question, or Donnie's new question, is like, to video or not to video? And that's the wrong question to be asking. You need to do video, but you need to do the right video. So, where do you start? How do you avoid, just going through a really tough process and, ending up frustrated and not feeling good about the work that you're doing? So where do you start? I'm going to go through each of these points and I'm going to read them out. Go ahead, copy this slide so that you have got those points for yourself. So number one is obviously, well, it's not obvious actually, but defining the goal of your video. What do you want it to do, right? What is the purpose of that video, and what do you want that outcome to be? Number two is like identifying the target audience. Again, something that seems very obvious, but if you don't have a really good idea of who you're talking to and trying to resonate with, then you might water down the video or try to fit too many things in there. You need to know, in combination with what the job of the video is and who you're talking to, based on those two things, you are going to be able to develop that compelling story. If you don't have a story that is resonating with the audience, then you're basically going to lose them and they're going to click away, right? So if you have those first three things in place, then you'll need to make sure that that you use consistent brand messaging. It's one of those things that if you are all over the place in your video and you haven't thought through it quite right, then you're going to be sending mixed messages about your brand. And you can make sure, like if you use professional video production, a professional video production studio, then they should be able to help you make sure that you're on point with your brand messaging and everything that comes before that. And then point 6 is like, it's really important to optimize for distribution. You've got different platforms, social platforms, different aspect ratios. You've got, subtitles that you need to add. That's one thing that is very critical to making sure that your video production that's ready to go and distributed into the right places. A clear call to action at the end of your video. Again, this comes back to defining the goal of the video. What is it you want the video to do? You can determine what the call to action is if you have that very clearly in mind. And then after you've distributed the video, then you can measure and optimize the video. So, if it's doing very, very well on LinkedIn, then you can go ahead and maybe double down on video ad spend. You can just, if you understand how well the video is performing, then you'll be able to figure that piece out. But again, if you are uncertain about that, then working with somebody who is in this space, they can help you. They should be able to help you.